This is Julien Jean Pierre from the St.Lucian Seamoss Company, and I am with Kirby and Shane. Shayna, sorry. I keep screwing your name up.
No, you said it right, Shayna.
Shayna? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
awesome.
We appreciate everybody who's joining in. Go ahead and as you join in, comment the city you're following and joining from so we can know where you're following us from. We're going to be paying attention to this chat. We're going to be giving away some incentives, some jewels, a lot of information that you can run with wealth and your health. So no further ado. Thank you, Julien, for having us. Once again, I'm one of your co-hosts, Jamari Kirby, co-founder of Vegan Fiber.
Hi, and I'm Shayna Maud, co-founder of Vegan Fiber and Sea Moss Experts.
Yes, we are the Sea Mossologists, and we're here to talk to you today about our new book, Sea Mossology, the ultimate guide of principles, techniques, and tools.
So tell me a little bit about your guys. How did you get started with this business, Vegan Fiber?
So for those of you who may be familiar with our last company, our first 2 years in this business was about just herbs and divine and just the timing. So we had our first company, which was Divine Herbs and Healing. And when we started that company, it was just off of pure raw emotion of just being excited for what had worked for us at the time. And we wanted to share it with as many people as we possibly could. And we knew that at the time, that business was so much of passion. And as we transitioned and furthered our education and resources, we started to discover more of our purpose. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations with just experimenting with the herbs and really diving into it. We was newly transitioning into our plant-based lifestyle. Ourselves here, we are 100% plant-based vegan, and it'll be going on 3 years at the end of this year. And we just had that beginning. And so Vegan Fiber quickly became a part of us as we started studying so much more things that was a part of our lifestyle. And fiber just kept coming up, just understanding fiber just kept coming up. Mm-hmm. And it was center of why we was in plant-based. So that was just mainly the thing, was just finding our core values and what we stood for. So that's how we came up with Vegan Fiber, the purest form of plant-based fiber, Vegan Fiber.
Right.
The industry leading, we lead in the industry.
Right. And so like Kirby was saying, guys, again, this is Shayna Maud, Sea Mossologist and plant-based vegan specialist and co-founder of veganfiber.com. But so throughout our transitions, when we transitioned to a 100% plant-based lifestyle, we kind of went cold turkey. Like the month before that, we were on a cruise and we ate like steak every day, lobster tails, oxtails, all of that, And then once we kind of learned about why plants are so important for our nutrition and our health, because we weren't really taught nutrition throughout our lifetime. So when we started opening up our eyes to that's kind of when we were like, this is probably why we're having so many underlying ailments. And then like Kirby was saying, the term fiber just kept coming up. And why fiber is so important is because like 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And in order to have a healthy gut, we need fiber. So a lot of that kind of just plays into how we, went from where we were to our previous company of just Divine Herbs and Healing to now we are Vegan Fiber, because we're here to educate, the community and just bring awareness to the nutritional aspect of why we need fiber. Yep. And why gut diversity is so important. And that kind of brought us to, Sea Moss and we have so much to say about Sea Moss, but that answers Julian's questions.
Yeah. So that was really how we got established with being at Vegan Fiber now.
So you guys decided to kind of morph this into more of like fiber focus, which is cool. Yeah, no one's really focusing on the fiber aspect and stuff. A lot of times they're focusing on sea moss or this herb or that herb, but a lot of times it's the fibers that are pulling out from, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a fiber expert, but it's usually the fibers that we're eating that are pulling out a lot of the stuff that we need to draw out of our body.
Exactly.
And keep us clean and running good,
Exactly.
Yeah. And the comment what you were saying is fiber is such an important. So for people that don't understand what fiber is the undigested carbohydrate when we're eating these foods. So you have soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, and it's important to understand that fiber helps absorb nutrients of the food, but there's also part of the fiber that helps remove toxins during the process of digestion. So when you're talking about, being in a place where our culture, my culture, we're leading in so much and in the premature diseases and things that, when you're growing up, you're just looking at it on a, you're not really comprehending it, but you just know that there's something there that's not being informed to us. I didn't really understand when I was first transitioning to being plant-based, why I was there. So once I started being able to make the connections, we wanted to be more than just a product-based company. Like through our transition, being a part of Divine Herbs and Healing, we knew that we was working with our community more so behind the scenes and just so much, but we just wanted to represent something that was community driven and something relatable to all people, all backgrounds across the world, and just encourage people to add more fiber to their diet. 95% of Americans aren't getting the recommended fiber. When we're looking at a lot of other countries and places look at America as just this unhealthy place. And it shows when you start looking at the premature diseases and the alarming rates that people are dying at heart diseases, diabetes, cholesterol issues, kidney, like we are leading in a lot of these categories. So we took what we felt that we can start in our community and just bring more awareness to the products and things that nurtured us along the way. So that's where we at with vegan fiber, man.
Nice. Beautiful. And part of that, you guys have developed a book, right?
Yes, Sea Mossology.
Yes, as I haven't had a chance to read the book. You haven't sent me a copy yet, but I'm sure you'll get around to that.
Yeah. You know it.
But knowing both of you guys for as long, and I've known you guys for over a year now, I know that you guys are very passionate about sea moss and just the knowledge and the study. And we've always, vibed and talked about different, scientific crap. I know without having to look into the book to know that you guys wouldn't put a book out unless you spent some time, researching the industry, understanding the market. You guys both have great marketing experience and backgrounds, so I'm sure there's a lot of great tools and tips in the book that can help. Like I've been pushing it. I've been telling everybody, like, you want to be serious and level up your game, you need to start expanding your knowledge. You know what I mean? There's too many people watching these YouTube videos and just getting secondhand information from this guy and that guy. No one's going out and researching the source from people that have been in the field and are experienced what you're doing. I'm telling you right now, anybody that you talk to that's been in the sea moss for longer than a year, that's bought some serious sea moss, they know the difference between the truth, I guess, and what's really out there and what, gossip is going around. That's the only thing I can call it, is gossip.
You said some really key points, and to piggyback off of that, that was one of the things that truly inspired us 2 years ago when we was really starting to get into this sea moss business. Let's rephrase this. When we first started getting into this for our personal consumption, we was just like a lot of other people that was wanting more information, and we was getting finessed and not getting true answers to a lot of the things that we needed to know. And at that moment, I would say that we knew that there was a huge problem that needed to be fixed. And through these last just 2 years of researching and taking as much notes as possible and finding the as much information as we could possibly find, we knew that we had to start with a small community of individuals being their own superhero. We was very disappointed in a lot of the leaders that we reached out to originally in the beginning of our journey. And it was just very different from what was being portrayed online. And we knew that we wanted to go out there and have our own experience to where we can make it relatable to anybody else that was looking to impact their own health. So sea moss has become a lifestyle for us. And how I got started with sea moss originally, I fasted for I had fasted for 18 days, and I was taking sea moss powder. And that was the turning point for me. But little did I know, as I got into the business, I quickly saw that the sea moss powder that I had was terrible.
It was horrible.
Terrible quality. So
it was so dirty.
Yeah, it was dirty. It was terrible.
Really
it was terrible. And that'd be a funny story I'll come back
But
to. But we just wanted to put out honest information that we know that could change generations, and not just go what was just
regurgitated.
Yeah, it was just a lot of things that was just filtered information, and we just knew that we needed more authenticity with our journey, and we've been putting it out there. You know, it's a lot of different things and information on YouTube, and just our journey up until this point.
Cool.
Yeah, and like for me, so with sea moss, so how Kirby started with the sea moss powder, the way I really got started into sea moss was when I was pregnant, and during my pregnancy is actually when I transitioned to being completely plant-based, because I had a lot of underlying issues growing up, from different autoimmune diseases, of allergies, and just a pH imbalance, a lot of different intolerances, a lot of things that could never be explained by any doctor, or they just try to force medications down me that I eventually became immune to. So everything just wasn't working for me. So, and this was for the first 26 years of my life. So when I learned about why I should be eating more plants and less animal proteins, and became more aware of the benefits of sea moss, because in my culture, so my family's from Barbados, so my grandma would always make a sea moss drink, but that also was with a bunch of sugar and condensed milk and like all this other stuff. So I wasn't really getting the benefits of sea moss from that. But when I actually learned about the actual algae, the actual seaweed of sea moss, and how beneficial it was, and why just having this one vegetable is huge it was a huge game changer for my gut health. And like I mentioned earlier, like 70% of our immune system is in our gut. So that's how a lot of these autoimmune diseases and a lot of these chronic diseases that Americans at least have why it
survives, why the diseases able to survive in our body.
Exactly. So then when I learned the significance of why in keeping our gut healthy was so important, and how sea moss plays a huge factor in our gut health, and not just from all the micronutrients, but from the macronutrients. Like, people aren't really talking about the macronutrients, and macronutrients actually are more of the nutrients that our body needs. The micronutrients are more so of the players who are like the supporting role, and micronutrients are just the vitamins and minerals that everyone's always talking about, the vitamins and minerals. However, the macronutrients, which are like the fats, the proteins, the carbohydrates. So like in sea moss, the highest protein in there is collagen. Collagen is great for our skin and our hair. The carbohydrate is the fiber. So when I started learning more about the nutritional aspect of it, I was like, wow, I'm happy I have this indigenous plant in my life now, but I was really upset that I didn't have any of these answers for the first 26 years of my life. I'm 30 now, so I was just like, at least I get to start somewhere.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, we just wanted to bring awareness to the small steps that makes big results. We just knew that the world needed something other than just hearing this story of this 92 minerals. Like, we knew that we wanted to highlight other relationships to why this sea moss is the most powerful sea vegetable to add gut diversity. And as we started to dedicate each and every day to this research, we started learning traditions and how this was related to the Chinese dynasty 2,000 years ago. We started learning more about how it was used in the West Indies. We started learning more world culture and ancestry along the line, even in North America, and just understanding that this seaweed has many different benefits, but it also has different species. It has a lot of other things that, I felt that once you learn how to maximize sea moss, your lifestyle is in such a better place. Traditional medicine has made it so complicated for us to feel like we can do it on our own. So our intention was to bring awareness to world stories, and not just say we're not the only ones having results. We wanted to bring more awareness to for the average consumer to see that This is a lifestyle. This has been used, and I'm pretty sure that any culture can find something related to how this was used in their ancestry. And understanding that the world has more vegetables than just land vegetables. We wanted to bring more awareness to this indigenous sea vegetable and how it's played a huge role in just the commercial world. Like there's a lot of things that's hidden jewels, that's in gems and things that's been used in the commercial industry that we just unaware of. So we just wanted to just put that weight on our shoulders and say, hey, we're dedicated to this lifestyle. We quit cold turkey of the Western diet, known as the SAD diet, the Standard American diet. And we started just adding more supporting things in our lifestyle. And the sea moss was just the biggest. It wasn't the only thing.
Hello.
So once again, comment where y'all following us from, because we want to help. We want to be where you at right now.
The name of the book is Sea Mossology, the ultimate guide of principles, techniques, and tools. And you can find that at veganfiber.com. It's available in print form. It's available in audiobook, which is an instant download. And it's also available in ebook, which is an instant download. So veganfiber.com. What was the previous question we were just discussing, to go ahead and go back to that conversation?
I forgot. I got short-term memory.
You know what? I've been waiting for an opportunity to bring in. You brought up something that I think we need to touch on. It's kind of a little bit off topic between the book, but it's a question I see and get access constantly. And I feel like you're the only person I know who can give the honest answer because you've lived it and experienced. Shane, could you talk a little bit about your experience being pregnant, taking sea moss, how you took the sea moss, the diet that you had, because so many people are concerned about, and then like even now how you're raising your kid with sea moss.
Yes.
So you could talk a little bit about that. Thanks.
Yes. And actually I've along with my pregnancy journey, I've helped many other moms who had successful births and deliveries with their sea moss journey and their herbal journey as well. Okay, so for one, I transitioned to a fully plant-based lifestyle about week 18, 19, and I gave birth week 41. And I was just very consistent with how I ate. I ate my plants, and we have a plant-based food guide actually on our website that's free. You could download it for free as well, but everything that's on that food guide is everything I ate. I didn't eat a lot of processed foods. I only drank water, herbal teas. I drink my herbal teas every day. I took my sea moss every day. Before I actually transitioned into my plant-based lifestyle, I had very low iron. And
I don't want to cut you off, but how much sea moss did you take per day when you were taking sea moss?
So when I first started taking the sea moss like consistently was around like the pregnancy aspect. So I would take no more than like 16 ounces a day. Now, like as I'm now like
16 ounces.
Literally like this cup actually, guys, is filled with sea moss gel, and I'm just drinking the sea moss gel. But it's very okay to take sea moss gel, to consume sea moss, because it's just a vegetable. It's a vegetable. It's just like if I was eating a salad, just turned into a smoothie, but instead I'm eating a sea moss turned into sea moss gel. But yeah, so I drink my sea moss gel every day. I
don't want to interrupt you, because I want to take it a couple seconds back. Okay. I need you to slow down and really get everybody that's tuned in. She's shortcutting a lot of things right now. So when we dove into sea moss during her pregnancy, we knew that levels was low. Mm-hmm. We really dove into it on a high intake level to see how much would it impact when we went back to the next appointment months later to see what her levels would be, which we'll get back to later. Her levels did increase tremendously when she went back to the doctor.
My iron was extremely low. So for normal people, unpregnant people, your iron should be like higher than 12, and I forget what the unit is, but higher than the 12 and whatever that unit is. And my iron, and then if you're pregnant, it's normal levels are between like 9 to 12. My levels were at 7, and they were looking at me like, we need to up your iron intake. You need to take these pills. You eat this meat. Like literally, my midwife said you need to be eating red meat. You need to be eating from a cast iron. I was like, well, I just transitioned to plant-based, so I'm just gonna go with that and see if this helps. And that helped me tremendously, from the sea moss to my different herbs. I was on a burdock root and sarsaparilla roots and different red raspberries. I had some elderberry in there. Like, I was on a bunch of different herbs along with the sea moss, along with eating my plants. And I was able to give birth to my daughter without any assistance. Like, I didn't go to the hospital to give birth. I gave birth in my home with Kirby by ourselves. And we've been giving our children sea moss since we've been giving our youngest daughter sea moss since she was born. So since she came out the womb, she's been having sea moss. And she's like the smartest girl I know. She's 20 months now. She's like so smart. She's like wise beyond her years. But the sea moss has really helped with our development, from just our body care, our gut health, and just from like the children as well. So, but yeah, I took sea moss every day, and it wasn't just the 1 tablespoon that a lot of people are, promoting. I took sea moss. Like I drink it like a smoothie. Like even if you have a sea moss smoothie, it's still taking your sea moss. But when I make my sea moss smoothies, I put a whole bunch of the clean sea moss in it, and like maybe a banana, maybe some kale. But it's a whole bunch of clean sea moss in there. It's not just 1 or 2 pieces.
Yeah. Well, I know people that have eaten it raw. And
we do that. It tastes so good like that. Literally, put some raw sea moss onto a salad. Oh my gosh! Add some onions, some peppers, maybe some sea salt, some olive oil. It's a seaweed salad. It's bomb. It is so good. Yes.
Wicked.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
But yeah, and also just from like some of the other testimonies from a lot of the other pregnant moms that I've helped, so since I started my sea moss journey later into my pregnancy, like week 18, 19, a lot of them started theirs when they first found out that they were pregnant, and it helped subside it from morning sicknesses to a bunch of different like just things that happen when you're pregnant, from cramps and things like that. Like, it really helps them in that first trimester, because the first trimester is sometimes like the worst one because your body's getting used to fetus growing in it. So the sea moss really helps a lot with just like calming down your body and maintaining your levels.
Yeah. One of the things you also mentioned that I found consistent with a lot of the families is when they give their kids sea moss, how smart the kid is, how energetic, and how extremely confident. That's the biggest thing. Like, so my business partner, his kid has had it since he was born, and this kid walks like he runs the world. Like, he's just whatever, this, that, and we always talk about it. We're laughing. We're like, it's the sea moss. Sea moss is making him a boss. You know what I mean?
Yes, it supports so much. One of the things is when you're looking at the world and how much it's being normalized that kids are being born prematurely or with a lot of these defects at birth. And one of the things that I just wanted to touch on was the cognitive development that sea moss allows a child from womb to earthside. And it's incredible to see what sea moss can impact when you're talking about someone that may have a learning disability, someone that has ADHD, or a kid that has Down syndrome. We've dealt with a lot of different types of people within our journey, and we've seen the reaction and things of how their body responded, not just ours, but my main thing was that when I look at medicine and it's like, well, children underneath this age shouldn't take. Well, we have to remember that what's different in the child organs that's different than ours. They have the same heart, they have the same stomach. Like, so in my opinion, if it's unsafe for a child, then we shouldn't take it in neither. So when we got started with sea moss and we saw just how much of a one-stop shop it was, we just dove straight into it. And since her development from the first time we got her levels down to when we went back to get the levels from the doctor, it increased it tremendously.